stand by you. Oh, tears make kaleidoscopes in your eyes. And hurt, I know you hurt me, but so am I.
Is Dallas coming over? Dang. Oh, it is. Oh, Bravail. Dang. He's 22? 21. Oh, no wonder he's not coming over. That's dangerous. That is dangerous. I don't think so. Maybe he stayed up till midnight to celebrate at midnight last night.
We could switch over to Stand By Me too.
Yeah. I'll stay.
Hands, put your empty hands in mine. Hidden scars, show me all the scars you hide. And hey, if your wings are broken, please take mine till yours can open too. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Oh, tears make kaleidoscopes in your eyes. And hurt, I know you're hurting, but so am I. And love, if your wings are broken, borrow mine so yours can open too. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we're breaking down, we can find a way to break through. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we can't find heaven, I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Yeah, you're all I never knew I needed. In the heart, sometimes it's unclear why it's beating. And love, if your wings are broken, please take your emotions too. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Oh, truth, I guess truth is what you believe in. And faith, I think faith is helping reason. No, 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 love, if your wings are broken, borrow mine so yours can open too. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we're breaking down, we can find a way to break through. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we can't find heaven, I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. I'll be your eyes till yours can shine. I'll be your arms, I'll be your steady satellite. When you can't rise, well, I'll cry with you on hands and knees. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we're breaking down, we can find a way to break through. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we can't find heaven, I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Love, you're not alone.
Kyle, Tito is summoning you.
Mine is ash, and it is heavy.
Yeah.
And virtually indestructible, but my shoulder and back muscles are always, after a couple hours, it's like, oh my gosh, I need to get taller.
We bed last night taking Ezekiel together.
I texted her to ask if you've taken it
We
yet.
did, but we started watching Widows.
Good. Seriously. I hate that you forwarded it to me. I don't know what to do. I asked him. Maybe I
Use.
Yeah, and Dan's blowing mine up.
It's rare. Check, check, check. Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Check, 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 check. Check.
I forgot I had the larger one doing it.
What?
I have a Ben Roethlisberger one too that I
Uh, 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 uh.
I would have worn it as a dress. All right, never mind. What does that mean, Liz? Hey, question for you. She'll be there. All right. Okay. She has also. That's why. That's why I'm wondering.
is revealed, His mercy is revealed, yeah. Yesterday is gone, and suddenly all of this behind you. And I'm here to remind you that yesterday is gone, so wave goodbye. And finally, the skies open around you, and love has truly found you. Everything's alive, everything's alive. Everything's alive, everything's alive, you know, everything's wasn't always circumstantial, never any real potential. Obvious and so sequential, it always ends the same. Holding up with all that's in me, is it worth all this pretending? A story with an ugly ending is never worth the pain. So right here and now I am all in, 'cause I'm letting go of everything I am. And I'm holding on to everything you are. I'm letting go of everything I once was. I'm all in. I'm falling into your arms again. Can we just wait out the weather? I could stay right here forever.
Hands, put your empty hands in mine. And scars, show me all the scars you hide. And hey, if your wings are broken, please take mine till yours can open too. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Oh, tears make kaleidoscopes in your eyes. And hurt, I know you're hurting, but so am I. And love, if your wings are broken, borrow mine so yours can open too. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you, even if we're breaking down. We can find a way to break through, even if we can't find heaven. I'll walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you, even if we can't find heaven. I'm gonna stand by you, even if we can't find heaven. I walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Yeah, you're all I never knew I needed. In the heart, sometimes it's unclear why it's beating. And love, if your wings are broken, please take me through those emotions too. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Oh, truth, I guess truth is what you believe in. And faith, I think faith is helping reason. No, 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 love, if your wings are broken, borrow mine so yours can open too. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you, even if we're breaking down. We can find a way to break through, even if we can't find heaven. I'll walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you, even if we can't find heaven. I'm gonna stand by you, even if we can't find heaven. I'll walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand Even if we're breaking down, we can find a way to break through. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone, 'cause I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we can't find heaven, I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone, 'cause I'm gonna stand by you. Love, you're not alone, 'cause I'm gonna stand by you. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you.
To Real Life Lake Chelan. I'm Allie, and you're watching The
Allie's
Real.
on the Real too. It's the Allie Show.
March 1st through 3rd, we are taking all our middle school friends back to Island Lake for another weekend of ridiculousness. We at Real Life think there's something special about getting kids to camp and can't wait to see what's in store for this year. If you are or have a middle schooler who wants to go, you can grab paperwork at the Count Me In table online or get a hold of Graham. This coming August, we'll be sending another group of teenagers back to Puerto Rico for a summer missions trip. For information and paperwork, head to reallifelakechelan.com or get a hold of Graham. Anyone 8th grade and up is welcome to participate. Next week at both of our campuses, we will launch our next set of Real Life groups. We think what happens here on a Sunday morning is good, but what happens in Real Life groups throughout the week is great. To find the best group for you, check out the handout inside of your bulletin. You can either sign up online or next week after church. I'm Allie, have a wonderful Sunday, and you've been watching The Real.
Welcome, good to have you here. My name's Kyle. I work here at Real Life. As soon as we get an answer on those, I'm going to say something about them. And then we're just going to keep moving along. So this is me praying. I'm praying. Amen. Please stand and sing with us.
Nothing can separate, even if I ran away. Your love never fails. I know I make mistakes, but have new mercies for me every day. Your love never fails. You stay the same through the ages. Your love never changes. There may be pain in the night, but joy comes in the morning. And when the oceans rage, I don't have to be afraid, because I know that you love me. Your love never fails. Ooh. The wind is strong, water's deep. I'm not alone here in these open seas. Your love never fails. The chasm is far too wide. I never thought I'd reach the other side. Your love never fails. Hey! You stay the same through the ages. Whoa, your love never changes. There may be pain in the night, but joy comes in the morning. And when the oceans rage, I don't have to be afraid, because I know that you love me. Your love never fails. Oh yeah. You make all things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. You stay the same through the ages. Yeah, your love never changes. There may be pain in the night, but joy comes in the morning, yeah. And when the oceans rage, I don't have to be afraid, because I know that you love me. Your love never fails. Oh yeah, your love never fails. Ooh.
Ashamed of what I've done, what I've become. These hands are dirty. I dare not lift them up to the Holy One. You plead my cause, you right my wrong. You gave your life to give me mine. You say that I am free.
You say I'm free. How can it be?
How can it be?
How can it be? I'm free.
How can it be?
How can it be?
How can it be?
Thank God I'm free. You may be seated with me.
I know. You want a break?
Break.
You may be seated and then go. Okay.
Now you may be seated.
Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in this modern world? What do you need more? Is there something else you're searching for? I'm falling. In all the good times I find myself longing for change, and in the bad times I feel myself
Tell me something, boy. Aren't you tired trying to fill that void? Or do you need more? Ain't it hard keeping it so hardcore? I'm falling. In all the good times I find myself longing for change, and in the bad times I fear myself. I'm off the deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never meet the ground. Crash to the surface where they can't hurt us. We're far from the shallow now. In the shallow, in the shallow, in the shallow, we're far from the shallow now. Oh, 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 oh. I'm off the deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never meet the ground. Crash to the surface where they can't hurt us. We're far from the shallow now. In the shallow, in the shallow, in the shallow, we're far from the shallow now. In the shallow, in the shallow, in the shallow, we're far from the shallow now.
Oh, hey, your turn.
You see the Webbers had that third kid?
More laundry for them.
Hey, Steph, did you see this picture of Kyle Plew in his swimsuit? Ew.
Wasn't he just in Phoenix?
Hey, who's this cute girl with Tito? He get a girlfriend?
No, I think it's just another friend.
Yeah. Looks like the Smiths are in Cabo again.
Must be nice.
Mom, I'm done. Come wipe me.
Girls in bed? Mm-hmm. Looks like the Monteleones had a nice steak dinner tonight.
Mm.
Did we even eat dinner?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks. I got this one.
They suck. All right, let's just click through them, Sierra. I got some feedback going on. Wait, slow down a little bit. I got to get used to my...
What I was going to say was, man, the little slip-ups, you guys did a good job of just like, you just played right through. So it was good.
The reason why I did not go to the hit is because she usually holds the high note 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was afraid if I hit on the first, she wasn't going to get it.
No, I get it.
But she goes in I'm off the deep end.
Yeah.
When we hit that.
Right.
No, I was like,
Yeah, it'd be too early. Yeah, that was fine. So one thing is,
Okay, see there, you go back to the same slide. I tried to give you a... Make date night a priority. I just alerting you that I'm going back to that same slide.
I forgot to turn my volume on, and I came in like a measure late. But it's like I meant to do that. And the other thing is, there was another thing, but I don't remember what it was. Dane, help me.
I need to get the second verse lyric so I can.
Oh yeah, you've done it right over the top. All right, you guys any questions, comments?
All right, prayer time's now. Good job, Sierra.
yeah, they're good.
You're on the phone with your girlfriend. She's upset. She's going off about something that you said. 'Cause she doesn't get your humor like I do. I'm in the room.
Yesterday you asked me something I thought you knew. So I told you with a smile, it's all about you. Then you whispered in my ear and you told me to. Said you'd make my life worthwhile, it's all about you. And I would answer all your wishes if you asked me to. But if you deny me one of your kisses, don't know what I do. So hold me close and say 3 words like you used to do. Dancing on the kitchen tiles, it's all about you, yeah. And I would answer all your wishes if you asked me to. But if you deny me one of your kisses, don't know what I do. So hold me close and say 3 words like you used to do. Dancing on the kitchen tiles, yes, you made my life worthwhile. So I told you with a smile, it's all about you. It's all about you. It's about you. It's all about you, baby. It's all about you. It's all about you, baby. It's all about you. It's all about you, baby. It's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about you. For all the times that you rain on my parade, and all the clubs you get in using my name. You think you broke my heart, oh girl, for goodness sake. You think I'm crying on my own, well I ain't. And I didn't wanna write a song, cause I didn't want anyone thinking I still care or don't. But you still hit my phone up, and baby, I'll be moving on. And I think it should be something I don't wanna hold back. Maybe you should know that my mama don't like you, and she likes everyone. And I never like to admit that I was wrong. And I've been so caught up in my job, didn't see what's going on. But now I know I'm better sleeping on my own. Cause if you like the way you look that much, oh baby, you should go and love yourself. And if you think that I'm still holding on to something, you should go and love yourself. When you told me that you hated my friends, the only problem was with you and not them. And every time you told me my opinion was wrong, and tried to make me forget where I came from. And I didn't wanna write a song, cause I didn't want anyone thinking I still care or don't. But you still hit my phone up, and baby, I'll be moving on. And I think it should be something I don't wanna hold back. Maybe you should know that my mama don't like you, and she likes everyone. And I never like to admit that I was wrong. And I've been so caught up in my job, didn't see what's going on. But now I know I'm better sleeping on my own. Cause if you like the way you look that much, oh baby, you should go and love yourself. And if you think that I'm still holding on to something, you should go and love yourself. For all the times that you made me feel small, I fell in love, now I feel nothing at all. I never felt so low when I was vulnerable. Was I a fool to let you break down my walls? 'Cause if you like the way you look that much, oh baby, you should go and love yourself. And if you think that I'm still holding on to something, you should go and love yourself. 'Cause if you like the way you look that much, oh baby, you should go and love yourself. And if you think that I'm still holding on to something, you should go and love yourself. Forever could never be long enough for me to feel like I've had long enough with you. Forget the world now, we won't let them see. But there's one thing left to do. Now that the weight has lifted, love has surely shifted my way. Marry me today and every day. Marry me if I ever get the nerve to say hello in this cafe. Say you will. Say you will. Together could never be close enough for me to feel like I am close enough to you. You wear white and I wear out the words I love you, and you're beautiful. Now that the wait is over, and love has finally showed her my way. Marry me today and every day. Marry me if I ever get the nerve to say hello in this cafe. Say you will. Say you will. Promise me you'll always be happy by my side. I promise to sing to you when all the music dies. And marry me today and every day. Marry me if I ever get the nerve to say hello in this cafe. Say you will. Say you will. Marry me. I found a love for me. dive right in, follow my lead. Well, I found a girl, beautiful and sweet. Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. I will not give you up this time. Darling, just kiss me slow. Your heart is all I own, and in your eyes you're holding mine. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath, but you heard it. Darling, you look perfect tonight. Well, I found a woman stronger than anyone I know. She shares my dreams. I hope that someday I'll share her home. I found a love to carry more than just my secrets, to carry love, to carry children of our own. We are still kids, but we're so in love, fighting against all odds. I know we'll be alright this time. Darling, just hold my hand, be my girl, I'll be your man. I see my future in your eyes. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When I saw you in that dress, looking so beautiful, I don't deserve this. Darling, you look perfect tonight. Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. I have faith in what I see. Now I know I have met an angel in person, and she looks perfect. I don't deserve this. You look perfect tonight.
This is my heartbeat song and I'm gonna play it. Been so long I forgot how to turn it up, 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 up all night long. Up, up all night long. You, where the hell did you come from? You're a different, different kind of fun, and I'm so used to feeling numb. Now I got pins and needles on my tongue, anticipating what's to come, like a finger on a loaded gun.
say can't wait. I know you'd understand. Every time I tried to tell you, the words just came out wrong. So I have to say I love you in a song. Yeah, I know it's kinda strange. Every time I'm near you, I just run out of things to say. I know you'd understand. Every time I tried to tell you, the words just came out wrong. So I'll have to say I love you disappoint you or leave a bad taste in your mouth. You act like you never had love, and you want me to go without. Well, it's too late tonight to drag the past out into the light. We're one, but we're not the same. We get to carry each other, carry each other. Whoa. Have you come here for forgiveness? Have you come to raise the dead? Have you come here to play Jesus to the lepers in your head? Did I ask too much, more than a lot? You gave me nothing, now it's all.
Hands, put your empty hands in mine. And scars, show me all the scars you hide. And hey, if your wings are broken, please take mine till yours can open too. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Oh, tears make kaleidoscopes in your eyes. And hurt, I know you're hurting, but so am I. And love, if your wings are broken, borrow mine so yours can open too. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we're breaking down, we can find a way to break through. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we can't find heaven, I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Yeah, you're all I never knew I needed. And the heart, sometimes it's unclear why it's beating. And love, if your wings are broken, we can break through those emotions too. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Oh, truth, I guess truth is what you believe in. And faith, I think faith is helping to reason. No, 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 love, if your wings are broken, borrow mine so yours can open too. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we're breaking down, we can find a way to break through. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we can't find heaven, I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. I'll be your eyes till yours can shine. I'll be your arms, I'll be your steady satellite. And when you can't rise, well, I'll cry with you on hands and knees. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we're breaking down, we can find a way to break through. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we're breaking down, I'm gonna stand by you. Even if we can't find heaven, I'll walk through hell with you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. Love, you're not alone. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you. 'Cause I'm gonna stand by you.
Welcome to Real Life Lake Chelan. I'm Allie, and you're watching The Real. March 1st through 3rd, we are taking all our middle school friends back to Island Lake for another weekend of ridiculousness. We at Real Life think there's something special about getting kids to camp and can't wait to see what's in store for this year. If you are or have a middle schooler who wants to go, you can grab paperwork at the Count Me In table online or get a hold of Graham. This coming August, we'll be sending another group of teenagers back to Puerto Rico for a summer missions trip. For information and paperwork, head to reallifelakechelan.com or get a hold of Graham. Anyone 8th grade and up is welcome to participate. Next week at both of our campuses, we will launch our next set of real life groups. We think what happens here on a Sunday morning is good, but what happens in real life groups throughout the week is great. To find the best group for you, check out the handout inside of your bulletin. You can either sign up online or next week after church. I'm Allie, have a wonderful Sunday, and you've been watching The Real.
Hey, good morning. Good to see you. My name's Kyle. I work here at Real Life, and Real Life exists to help people who are far from God find real life in Christ. And so that's what we try to do every single Sunday morning. It's Super Bowl Sunday, but who cares? No, you don't care. No one cares. If you're rooting for the Patriots, let's hear it. Yes. Because my next statement was going to be, get out. No one likes the Patriots, and no one should. Even the devil doesn't root for the Patriots, all right? No one likes the Patriots. Now, the Rams, no. You only root for the Rams because you hate the Patriots, all right? We don't like the Rams either. They cheated to get in the Super Bowl in the first place, so no one really cares. So have some friends over. Eat horrible food, drink what you want, but no one cares about the game. That's why, thank you so much, all of you that walked in acknowledging that the best football team in the history of the NFL is the 72 Miami Dolphins, because they're the only undefeated team in the history of the NFL. Thanks for reminding me of that as you walked in this morning, that the 17-0-0 Dolphins are the greatest team in the history. Also, thank you for reminding me that they haven't been to a Super Bowl since 1984. So, I appreciate that. Where were we? Yeah, hey, we believe in three big things. We believe in finding needs in the community and meeting them, not waiting for the needs to come to us. We're going to go find them. That's one big thing we stand on here at Real Life. The other one is we want to plan for people who don't like church or who are far from God or don't think church is for them, or we do that on Sunday. And the other big thing we do is we think circles are better than rows. This is fine, but being in a circle and sharing life together is even more important. So you should find in your handout that we gave you a list of the new small groups that we're offering. We'll do a big launch next Sunday. There's something there for everybody. I'll highlight this in the next couple of weeks. The lovely Darlene and I are doing a small group for young married couples. Okay, how you define that, I don't know. I think Graham defined it as married 5 years, but we want you married and we want you young, all right? That'd be great if you're married and young and you think your relationship is great. And we will let you know that a time is coming where that will no longer be the case, all right? So join our group if you want to hate your marriage. Listen, Darlene and I just started talking and said, there's so many couples, we wish we would have known so much more when we first started. So if you've been married less than 10 years and you're young, whatever that means to you, even if you've got some little kids running around, it's the group for you. So sign up for that. What else? So we're starting a brand new series this morning. We ended last week, and I'll catch you up from last week too. But we're starting a brand new series that we call Relationship Goals, talking about real relationships, how's that happen. And really we're talking about to what extent are you willing to go in all your relationships, not just a marriage, not just dating and engaged, but in your friendships, with your kids, with your parents. what are some things, if we set some goals and we hit those goals, wouldn't it be great then if our relationships got better? All right? So what length would you be willing to go in order to keep your relationship going? I have a friend that when they were in middle school, in fact, I think he was living over on the South Shore here. Am I pointing the right way? Out way like it's Sunnybank. And he was in love, and he was under some disciplinary procedures, and he got his phone taken away. So nowadays, when you don't have your phone, you don't have a connection. You know what I'm saying, right? Everyone under 40? So he thinks, I haven't talked to her, I haven't seen her, I don't have my phone, I don't know what to do. I'm so in love, I got to express my love. So he does what any God-fearing middle school boy would do. He jumps on his bike, and I don't know all the details. I think it's like 1 or 2 a.m., and he jumps on his bike out at Sunnybank, but his lady friend lives over in Chelan Hills. So he's going to ride his bike. How long? How many miles is that, would you say, Scott? 11. You probably shouldn't be talking, Dane. What's that? About 11 miles. So my friend gets on his bike, and he starts in the middle of the night. He starts pedaling. He sneaks out of the house. His folks don't know. And I don't think his lady friend knows either. So he's going to pedal madly, and he's motivated by love. If you're a middle school boy, you know what I'm saying, right? Love is strong when you're a middle school boy. So he starts pedaling, and the gracious hand of God was upon him, and the cops pulled him over. Somewhere around the lakeside area, cops see this middle school boy in the middle of the night with a big smile on his face pedaling, and they said, pull him over, and like, what are you doing? And he is a good kid. He said, well, I'm madly in love with this person, and my love compels me to pedal and to maintain this relationship. And the cops said, oh, well, thank you for being honest, but son, where do you live? I live in Sunnybank. So he piles in the cop car, they throw his bike on the cop car, and the cops take him home. He comes in the house, obviously his folks are sleeping. He goes in and says, hey, Dad, cops are here. And like, oh, that's really funny. No, really, Dad, the cops are here. Dad gets up, goes to the door, and lo and behold, here's the cops and his son and the bike. Now, you may say, boy, that's a foolish thing to do. But that is love. That is determined love. So, what's that? I'm getting something from the booth. Oh, that person's here today. What's that? Singing in the band. So I hear that story, and I think, oh, this is so great. I love Dane. I'm not going to tell you who the girl was, but she's running the PowerPoint, and her initials are Sierra Roethlisberger. So, this is Dane Isaac. You'll notice he has a very good voice. We're glad he's part of our band this morning, but he would like to be called for the rest of time. His new nickname is the Night Rider. So, I get myself in trouble every time I go off script. I did apologize when I walked out here. I said to Dane, I apologize for the story I'm about to tell. All right? So if you want more details, you can talk to Dane's dad, Scott, or better yet, Sierra's dad, Marty. Yeah, we as dads, we know what middle school boys are like. So that's why we have boundaries up and take phones away and flatten tires so they can't get to our daughters, all right? I'm glad you're here today. We got some great stuff to talk about relationships. I know that all the men just went, oh, no, and all the women are like, yeah. Listen, dudes, I got something for you. Your life is going to be better if you put these goals into actions. Trust me, I know. Let's pray. God, thanks. Thanks for you loving us, and you loved us way before we even thought about you or cared about you. And even if we don't care about you today, you still love us. So we ask that you would give us a new sense and new motivation for the relationships in our life to get better, and that we would do the things that could make that happen. Thanks for this time this morning. In Jesus' name, amen. Please stand and sing with us.
Nothing can separate, even if I ran away. Your love never fails. I know I still make mistakes. You have new mercies for me every day. Your love never fails. You stay the same through the ages. Your love never changes. There may be pain in the night, but joy comes in the morning. And when the oceans rage, I don't have to be afraid, because I know that you love me. Your love never fades. Wind is strong and water's deep. I'm not alone here in these open seas. Your love never fails. The chasm is far too wide. I never thought I'd reach the other side. Your love never fails. Hey! You stay the same through the ages. Whoa, your love never changes. There may be pain in the night, but joy comes in the morning. And when the oceans rage, I don't have to be afraid, because I know that you love me. Yeah, your love never fails. Ooh, you make all things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. You make all things work together for my good. Yeah, you stay the same through the ages. Whoa, your love never changes. There may be pain in the night, but joy comes in the morning. And when the oceans rage, I don't have to be afraid, because I know that you love me. Your love never fails. Yeah, yeah. Your love never fails. Ooh.
Ashamed of what I've done, what I've become. These hands are dirty. I dare not lift them up to the Holy One. You plead my cause. You right my wrongs, you break my chains, you overcome, you gave your life to give me mine, you say that I am free, how can it be? Yeah. How can it be? You gave your life to give me mine. You say that I am
Say I'm free.
How can
Can it be?
How can it be? Though I fall, you can make me new. From this death I will rise with you. Oh, the grace reaching out for me. How can it be?
Yeah.
How can it be? You bleed my cause.
My cause.
You right my wrongs.
wrong.
You break my chains. You overcome. You gave your life to give me mine. You say that I am free.
You say I'm free.
You plead my cause. You right my wrongs. You break my chains.
My chain.
You overcome. You gave your life to give me mine. You say that
You
I
say
am
I'm free.
How
I'm free.
can it be?
You say I'm free.
How can it be?
Praise God, I'm free.
How can it be?
Praise God, I'm free. Ooh.
How can it be?
Thank God I'm free. You may be seated.
Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in this modern world? What do you need more? Or is there something else you're searching for? I'm falling. In all the good times I find myself longing for change. And in the bad times I fear myself.
Tell me something, boy. Aren't you tired trying to fill that void? Or do you need more? Ain't it hard keeping it so hardcore? I'm falling. In all the good times I find myself longing for change. And in the bad times I fear myself. I'm off the deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never meet the ground. Crash through the surface where they can't hurt us. We're far from the shallow now. In the shallow, in the shallow, in the shallow, we're far from the shallow now. Oh, oh, oh. shallow, in the shallow, in the shallow, we're far from the shallow now. In the shallow, in the shallow, in the shallow, we're far from the shallow now.
Hey, babe, I'm home.
Oh, hey, your turn.
You see the Webbers had that third kid?
More laundry for them.
Hey, Steph, did you see this picture of Kyle Plew in his swimsuit? Ew.
Wasn't he just in Phoenix?
Hey, who's this cute girl with Tito? He get a girlfriend?
No, I think it's just another friend.
Yeah. Looks like the Smiths are in Cabo again.
Must be nice.
Mom, I'm done. Come wipe me.
Girls in bed?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like the Monteleones had a nice steak dinner tonight.
Mm.
Did we even eat dinner?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks. I got this one.
Well, welcome. As most of you know, I was, no you don't, because most of you weren't even here. I wasn't here last week. I was down in Phoenix. So welcome to you all here. Welcome if you're listening online or later on this week. Brewster, good to have you here. Thank you so much for letting us have Kyle Wolber, K-Dub, last week. He did a great job filling in, so you can give him a warm round of applause in Brewster. But this morning we're starting a new series called Relationship Goals, and I just want to tie it in a little bit. All last month, we were in a series called Where You At, talking about what direction you're headed in life. Is that the direction you want to go? K-Dub did a good job last week talking about emotions and how that weighs in. So the whole series was surrounded around this principle, and it was the principle of the path that we'll steal right now to make it the relationship path, but it was this, that direction, not intention, determines destination. All right? So it doesn't matter what your intentions are or what you want in life. What determines where you're going to end up is the direction you're currently headed. And that's relationships. And when we talk about relationships, we're talking about if you're dating, if you're engaged, if you're married, if you're single and looking for someone and you want to be the person, the same kind of great person that you're looking for, if you have friendships with your kids, with your relatives, whoever that is, we're talking about all relationships. So it really doesn't matter what you intend for your relationships. It's really what you're doing and what direction you're headed is what your relationship's going to be. It'd be like, hey, I really want to have a great marriage and I'm dating this person. Well, how's it going? Oh man, we fight all the time. Well, what are you going to do? Well, we're going to get married because if we get married, we'll stop fighting. All right? Well, that's horrible. The direction you're headed, all right, is going to determine your destination. So if you're a fighting dating couple, trust me, you will duke it out as a married couple, all right? So if, in fact, following Jesus makes life better and makes you better at life, and I believe that with all my heart, all right, what if that applied to our relationships? Including Jesus, and again, I know all of you aren't Jesus people yet, and all this God thing's new to you, just go with me on this one. If following Jesus makes life better, makes you better at life, then following Jesus should make you better at relationships and your relationships better with you. I believe that with all my heart. Today and the next 3 weeks after this, we're going to talk about relationships. It's taken the lovely Darlene, my wife, a little bit of time to get used to, but we've decided we'll be really honest about our relationship, where we've been, where we're at, where we're headed. Currently, I can say that our direction is positive and our destination is fantastic. But that's not what it's always been like for us. So I'll be really honest with that. And if you're here and you're in a struggling relationship, I get it. And this may be the only thing you came for today. The only thing that is going to apply in any of your relationships. But listen, if you're in a struggling relationships, you're not the only one. We think, oh man, no one understands my marriage. No one understands this relationship I have with my sister-in-law. No one understands this relationship I have at work. It's so hard. It's so toxic. It's so difficult. Listen, you're not the only one. You're not the only one that's ever been there. You're not the only one that is in one, and you're not the only one that's ever going to be in one. All right? So if you're struggling, this whole series is for you. If you're in a perfect relationship, all right, then we'll get a couple chairs and you will sit up here next week with me. All right? Because I don't know that exists. Because we're all broken people. And broken people, when they get together, two broken people don't make a whole. Two broken people make a broken relationship. That's why we have to set goals and be intentional about where we're headed. Because great relationships just don't happen. Here's another point as we get going. Is the quality of our relationships really determine the quality of our life. As much as you maybe push back about that a little bit. But listen, let's say you think the best thing in the world that could happen to you is you win the lottery. So you win $50 million. And you hate your husband. All that money's fine. But if you're in this toxic relationship, all the money in the world's not going to make that go away. You bought a brand new house and you're happily married. But when you show up at work, the person that sits next to you treats you like a jerk and you don't know how to deal with them, you don't know how to approach them, don't know how to... relationships just cloud, they color. When it's so negative, they just cover everything. The opposite is also true. Your life may be up and down and not going the way you want it to, but you're surrounded by great friendships and great people, and you're really connected. That'll get you through even the worst, most difficult time. So the quality of our relationships really determine the quality of our life. That's why we're going to spend so much time in them. So each week, we'll take a goal, and this is what I'm attempting to do, is say, here's these goals. Like you have life goals like I want to lose 20 pounds, or I want to work out more, or I want to eat less carbs, or I want to meditate more, whatever. So we'll give you goals, and if you try to reach these goals, your relationships should get better. So today the goal we're going to talk about is togetherness. Relationship goal number one is togetherness, all right? And togetherness, defined as this. It's that sense of security and connection that provides a place for everything else to grow and thrive. That when you have a sense that we're in this together, whether you're married or dating or friends, there's a sense that it doesn't matter what comes our way because we're together in this and we can do it together. There's a security to be yourself. There's security that, oh man, life's difficult, but at least I got my relation. At least I got my people around and with me, all right? It's the key ingredient of a successful marriage, but it's the key ingredient of a successful relationship, all right? It's that feeling that even with chaos all around you, you can just take a deep breath and just say, okay, it's going to be okay because I'm not all by myself. I'm not in this all alone. The great things about goal is they are easy to understand and difficult to carry out. Because none of you here would disagree that togetherness is a bad thing. That we all want and would enjoy togetherness. We all would love not to feel alone. That some of us, when we struggle with relationships, even when we're in a crowd of people, even when we're together, we feel all alone. Even in the midst of some of the relationships that we put up with in our life, we still feel isolated because we don't feel a part, or there's some kind of blockage or pain or brokenness in between those relationships. So, this morning, I'm warning you all over the world if you're listening. I'm warning you in Brewster and right here in Chelan, is we're going to look at a portion of the Bible that's very spicy. All right? This book in the Old Testament, Jewish kids weren't allowed to read it until they were older than 13. Right? It's very spicy. And it has to do with romantic love, but we're going to apply some principles beyond that. Solomon was the guy, King Solomon, the wisest guy who ever lived, very successful king. He kind of put together this kind of love manual, if you would, for the Jewish nation. And we grew up calling it the Song of Solomon, but really the book was the Song of Songs, all right? The more modern translations probably have that in there because it was referred to as the song of all songs. You understand that? It would be like, Dan Marino is the quarterback of all quarterbacks. I don't think we would disagree with that, all right? And this was the song to end all songs. This was the most romantic, this was a how-to manual. This was a love letter, all right? And we're going to find some, but I'm telling you, middle school boys, you might be giggling, all right? You may be tempted to jump on your bike in the middle of the night because of this scripture and go see your girlfriend, all right? There's a lot here. Dudes, some of you guys are going to be sitting there and saying, oh, come on, Plu, get on with it, all right? But most of your girls are going to be like, oh, this is so nice, Kyle, all right? So we're going to jump right into it. It's poetic. It's all over the place. All right, here we go. Watch this. My lover said to me. Right away, that's spicy right there. Lover, what's he mean? Yes, that's what it means. Rise up, my darling. Come away with me, my fair one. Look, the winter is past and the rains are over and gone. Wouldn't that be great? The winter be gone. I just got back from Phoenix. I was down visiting my dad. It's amazing how 65 degrees feels so warm during the winter down in Phoenix. And 65 degrees in my house feels like I'm gonna die of frostbite. Yeah, wouldn't it be great? But that's how they feel about each other. The winter's over. The spring is blossoming. Watch this. The flowers are springing up. The season of singing birds has come, and the cooing of turtle doves fills the air. The fig trees are forming young fruit, and the fragrant grapevines are blossoming. They are excited about each other's love. This is a great relationship. Then he says again, rise up, my darling. Come away with me, my fair one. He's saying, I want to spend time with you. The first step of reaching your goal of togetherness is to make time together. You got to spend time with each other. And all of you are like, duh. Yeah, okay, but if it's so obvious, why don't we make that a priority? Life has a way of scheduling our time if we don't schedule it. Life doesn't naturally lend itself to giving you time to spend with the people you love most. It has a way of getting our attention and distracting us and pulling us away from the things that are most important. The best of relationships need time to grow. And if you've been friends for years and you don't need to spend that much time together, all right, then that's going to fade away. Oh, when we first started dating, that was really good, but now we're married and we all, the day I married her, I told her I love her. If that ever changed, I'll let her know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's all good, but we're fine. We've been married forever. We're fine. Let me give you some ways to make this happen. To make time together, to make togetherness a priority, do the things you did back then. When you were dating, let's just talk about marriage a little bit, okay? When you were dating, what was that like? When you were first in love? Because if you go back and do the things you used to do, you'll start feeling the things you used to do. If you're in a relationship like that, let's say you're married, you're in a relationship and you feel like the romance is fading, the feelings have faded, that's going on. If you'll go back and do the things you did at first, you'll start feeling the feelings you did at first. Right? Most of you dudes that have been married more than 10 years, 10, 15 years, if I said, hey, if you really loved your wife, you'd jump on a bike in the middle of the night and ride from Sunny Bank over to Chelan, you say, there's no way I'm doing that. I'll send a message. You let her know I love her, but I'm not riding my bike all over there. If you go back and do the things you did at first, you'll start feeling the things you used to feel. When I was in college, Darlene stayed up in Boise, and I went to college in California. There was no internet There was no cell phones. Long distance cost a lot of money. We were allowed one phone call a week because our parents were paying for it. So we had to write letters. Anyone remember that? So 2 or 3 times a week, I would write a love letter to Darlene, and I'd write it, and I'd sprinkle cologne on it. Yeah, shut up. Someone's mocking me in the back. Yeah, listen, I was all in with this Darlene thing. And so we had to write. And so I'd write a letter, she'd write a letter back. If there was a gap where I didn't get a letter right away, I think, oh, she doesn't love me anymore, and I'd write a better lover. So I'm trying to remember and pulled out some of my love letters, things I used to say to her. This is, I think this is October 13th, 1982. And I wrote, imagine me and you and me, I think about you day and night, it's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy together. I'm not sure if it's exact words, but I wrote something like that. Look at this. This is April of 1982. I got chills, they're multiplying, and I'm losing control from the power, I can't read that word, you're supplying. Oh, it's electrifying. This is one of my greatest ones. This was right before I was graduating. We were already engaged. And I wrote, I found a love for me. Darlene, just dive right in and follow my lead. Well, I found a girl beautiful and sweet. I never knew you were the someone waiting for me, because we were just kids when we fell in love. Not knowing what it was, I will not give up this time. Baby, oh, this gets a little dicey. I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms, barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite song. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath. But you heard it, darling. You look perfect tonight. Listen, if you don't think that's good writing, that is, I got all sweaty, just a little hot, just reading it. I wrote her all the time. And I would never read anything that I wrote to her to you guys. It's so embarrassing. It's horrible. It's embarrassing. And she saved them all. She has them, all right? She could blackmail me. She could do whatever. But back in the day, I was all in. I wanted her to know everything I was thinking and feeling. That doesn't necessarily happen now. We started dating. She was 15. I was 16. We started dating. And there's this sense of, you get in a relationship and you have expectation. And then you find out the reality. Poor Darlene. She was 15. I was 16. At 16, I had dated a lot of girls in my life. You know what I'm saying, fellas? Because I had a license. I had a driver's license when I was 14. And when you get your car, unless you're dating Isaac, when you get a car, you can start dating. You don't have to take your bike. So I'm dating, I've dated a lot of people. So I'll try to tell this story in Darlene's words. So it came time for what you folks would call homecoming dance, what we in Christian school call football banquet, all right? We weren't allowed to dance at Christian school, so we didn't have any proms, we didn't have any dances. We had football banquets, and they were big deals. You get dressed up, you get a corsage, a boutonniere, pick up your... So after some time, I moved to Boise from Chelan when I was about a 7th, 8th grader. Well, about a year later, Darlene takes notice of me and noticed how charming and attractive and hot I was. I'm using her words, not my own. So she has this crush on me for years, all right? 7th grade, she's in love with me. 8th grade, she's in love with me. Never tells me, I don't ever know. I date her sister a little while. She's in love with me. I date somebody else, and she's still in love with me. She's in 9th grade, and of course she's in love with me. She's in 10th grade, and I start taking notice of her a little bit. And so I'm 16, she's 15, she's a sophomore, I'm a junior. And finally, her greatest dream comes true, and I ask her out to be my date at the football banquet. The Nampa Christian High School, home of the Trojans, perhaps you've heard of us. Football banquet. Well, she says yes, and she's just so giddy with excitement, and she gets a new dress, probably old school people, a gunny sack dress, the really fancy ones, and I get a suit on and everything, and I pick her up, and she's so excited. Her expectations are over the moon because this is what she's wanted almost her whole life, is to be able for me to pull up in my 1974 orange Gremlin and pick her up and take her on a date. I walk up to the door. I already been there before because I used to date her sister. I say hi to everybody. I escort her to the car. I open the door. She fits perfectly in the Gremlin, and we start driving to the banquet. According to Darlene, we start down her driveway from her family farm, and we get on the main road, and I say to her, well, Darlene, you're probably pretty excited to be going out with a Plu man. And inside she thought, this is the biggest jerk I've ever met. All her expectations of she's just going by outward appearances, obviously, how attractive I was, immediately, the first thing, I don't remember this the way it happened, but she thought, he is so conceited and arrogant. And the end of the date, I had a great time with her. I thought she was great. The end of the date, I said, do you think we could go out again? And this is all her life she's lived for. And at the end of the date, she says, I don't think I want to date just one guy seriously. Well, all that does to a guy like me is say, oh, you watch this. It is on like Donkey Kong here. There's a separation, right? Between what we expect, what we thought it was going to be, what they should be, what life's going to be like, and reality. And a lot of times when our expectations and reality don't mingle, we give up instead of dig in. Listen, I'm going to say this every week, so get used to it. We get so busy, all right? And you as couples, or even as friends, we get so busy that we stop checking in with each other, stop seeing what's going on. If you're a parent of grade school kids, it's like they're moving everywhere. They're going everywhere. You got to get them ready. They got to be ready for school. They got to get the lunch ready. You got to get this ready and everything. Then they get to be in middle school, and if you're one of the parents, you're taking them everywhere, and you just feel like a Uber driver, right? You just transport your kids. And then they get to be teenagers, and you're like, where did they go? They get their own car, they drive, and they disappear. And life just becomes so chaotic that you forget about developing togetherness and deep, continued relationships. All right, so here's my best advice. If you're married, I guess even if you're dating or engaged, the best thing I can tell you, because it's super simple, is make date night a priority. Now, you think that's ridiculous. You think that's too simple. All right? I'm telling you, it is crucial. It's the best thing. It's the best thing I can tell you. Listen, if you're in a struggling marriage or relationship, don't set out now to fix the problem. Just decide now to spend more time together. If you're struggling, you've been trying to fix the struggle by changing each other for a long time. Right now, just spend time with each other. You got to trust me on this one. I've been down this road a long ways. And doing that is making date night a priority. Listen, it won't be that bad. Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show gives us a hashtag best worst dates ever. Check this one out. Number one, at the end of the night, he leaned in for a kiss and whispered, "Don't be scared if my tooth falls out." That's probably not going to happen on your date night, all right? Or these are all real life things. Here's the next one. He told me he wanted to take me to one of his favorite places, so I got all dressed up. It was Bass Pro Shops. Guys, that's when you know your marriage is in trouble, all right? Or this is my favorite one. He went to the bathroom, was gone for a really long time, then texted me, "You should just call an Uber." He ain't coming out, nor would you want to be with him once he did come out. Listen, if you make date night a priority, this is what happens. Listen, just so you know, I'm not a hypocrite. Darlene and I go out to breakfast almost every single Saturday morning. If we're fighting, we go to breakfast. If we're madly in love with each other, we go to breakfast. If life is really difficult, we go to breakfast. That's our date night. It just happens to be breakfast. And it's the same time, for the most part, it's the same time, same day, every week. And what that does for me is says that Darlene thinks I'm a priority in her life and schedule, and she's not going to let anything come in the way of that. What it says to me is that if we're struggling during the week, at least there's a time we'll sit down undistracted by everything else around, and we can have a conversation, just the two of us at breakfast. We both enjoy going to breakfast, and we can have a conversation there. It's really calm. All right? Listen, you have to. If your marriage is great, you should be having a regular date night. If your marriage is struggling, you have to have a regular date night. And you say, hey, we don't have any money for that. We can't afford that fancy breakfast. Then go to Starbucks or the Vogue and just have coffee. Or go sit in the park and just talk for an hour. But same day, same time, every week. You'll be shocked on how your relationship improves because you feel like you're important to each other. Listen, quality time can be scheduled. No, quality time can be rarely scheduled, but it grows out of quantity time. You say, we don't spend much time with our kids, but the time we do spend is really quality. That's bull. Sorry. Quantity time. Quality time grows out of quantity time. Spending time with each other, being together, that's where quality time comes from. You can't schedule quality time. It comes out of quantity time. The Song of Songs continues. This guy's not done. This guy's in love. My dove is hiding behind the rocks. Playing a little romantic peekaboo here. Behind an outcrop on the cliff. Let me see your face. Let me hear your voice. For your voice is pleasant and your face is lovely. Tomorrow morning, guys, when you wake up and you see your gal, that's what you need to say. Honey, this morning, your voice is pleasant and your face is lovely. And she'll say something like this. You're just saying that because Kyle says so. And you'll say, yes. Yes. Listen, the lover in the Song of Psalms is like excited. And what he's telling us, the next step of making together in this work is to stay curious. Be interested. You don't have to have the same interests, but you have to be interested in what the other person, who the other person is. Darlene and I are vastly different people. If you know us, you know that's true. We have different interests, different things, but we're interested in the things that we're involved in. The one thing my wife has done great since we started Real Life 6.5 years ago is a couple Sundays a month, she teaches back in Real Kids, and she loves it. And when she's not here present for the sermon, sometime during the week, she'll stop and listen to it. She'll go and watch it on the computer. She'll watch it, and then she'll always come and never, ever in 6.5 years has she said, hey, you were a little off, or I didn't agree with that point, or you look fat. She never says that. She always says, hey, good job. I'm so proud of you. She's really good at that. Now, we evaluate the sermon Monday mornings at staff meeting, but my wife knows she doesn't have to be the evaluator. She just has to be the encourager. Listen, do you know what your friends, what your loved ones, do you know what their hopes and dreams are? Do you know what they're really interested in? Sometimes it feels like all we do is text each other information. We're just coordinating events. We're not sharing. If there's 4 types of communications, there's facts, there's opinions, there's feelings, and then there's dreams. We all talk about facts, like, hey, what's the weather today? Or our opinion, I think Donald Trump is racist. Or feelings is, I feel like what they've done to the old bridge is really taken away from the culture of our, okay. But sharing your hopes and dreams, your desires for the future, what you want to be, where you want to go, who you want to do that with, that's the deepest level of communication. Do you know that about the people you care about? Do you know what your kids' hopes and dreams are? James, the brother of Jesus, has a great paragraph in one of the letters he wrote. He says, My dear brothers and sisters, and whenever he does that, he's setting you up for something. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Most of us have stopped being curious in relationships around us, and we want people to be curious with us, but we've stopped asking questions and pursuing people and finding out the people around us what they love because we become too busy or too selfish to listen. I know that's a little harsh, but life takes over, and we're so concerned just getting our own stuff done and accomplished that we forget about people around us. That we want what we want to be, we want to be the center instead of, or we're just so busy, or we just care more about us than we do about people around us. Listen, proximity leads to sharing and intimacy. You can't share your life with someone and develop intimacy if you're not hanging out and being in the same room and present with them. It doesn't happen. Listen, I got to throw this in because it seems a little harsh. I'm not trying to beat anybody up. Not online, not here in Chelan, not in Brewster. If you've made mistakes in the past, if you haven't been the best relationship partner, there's plenty of forgiveness and there's new hope, but there's a new story for you. But you have every chance in the world to start brand new here. There's no guilt. Guilt's not going to be a good motivator. Guilt's a temporary motivator. I'm saying everything you could want in relationships in your life is available to you with some basic, simple steps. A, make time for each other. B, stay curious. One more part of Song of Songs. Catch all the foxes, those little foxes. When I was in middle school, I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I got foxes all around me. Catch all the foxes, those little foxes, before they ruin the vineyard of love. For the grapevines are blossoming. My lover is mine and I am his. And like, what are you talking about? This fox is, it's a fluffy little cute thing, you know what I'm saying? But in the time when Solomon was writing, a fox could come in, it could destroy a vineyard. You get one fox in there, you think, oh, it's so cute and fluffy and nice. You know, they're not very big. I was up on the wild thing with my buddy Huey just this last year, and we're way up in the middle of nowhere. And one night we're sitting around the campfire, and it's pitch dark. There's no one else up there at this campsite. And we see this little thing in the darkness, and Huey says, hey, look at that. And there's this little cute fox comes through. And he's looking, he's smelling whatever we had for dinner, and he circles around us, and he just sits there. You know, it's somewhere between like a cat and a dog. And we say, oh, that's so cute. And Huey says, hey, let's throw him our bones from our steak. So we throw these bones out there, and it goes and gets them and chews on wild, and then goes and buries them. It's the cutest thing in the world. Next morning we get up, and we're walking around getting the fire going and everything, and Huey says, hey, where's my shoes? So what are you talking about? We weren't even drinking. Where's my shoes? I said, I don't know. I don't take care of your shoes. And he walks out about 50 yards away from our campsite. Here's one of his shoes out there. I said, how'd this get out there? I said, you must have dropped it or something. And then he's going to collect some wood, and he's like 100 yards away. He said, hey, here's my other shoe. The fox had got into our campsite, grabbed a shoe, I don't know why, and taken away with it. We had, unbeknownst to us, we had enabled this cute little cunning, deceptive varmint into our campsite to do whatever it wanted to wreak havoc on us. There are little things in your life that you are allowing in that are slowly sabotaging your relationship. And at first, they're cute and cuddly. And these little teeny things grow into big things. And you ignore them for a while, and every time you ignore it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then finally you stop one day and say, I can't be in this relationship anymore. Well, why not? Because we got these things. Where'd they come from? I don't know, because they weren't bad a year ago. They weren't bad 5 years ago. You got to be careful. And listen, what happens is when we allow stuff in, when we don't filter it, We're not careful where we go, what we see, who we hang out with, what we watch, what we think, what we feel. If we don't process any of that, then these things get in and mess with us. And one of the things that does that is the way we communicate with each other when we disagree. And I don't care if you're married or just friends. All right? That the next step in togetherness is this: tackle the problem, not each other. Tackle the problem, not each other. So much of the time, we lash out at each other instead of the problem itself. I got a little, because we tend to underestimate the smaller things in life. We think, I lost my temper. How many times? You have to go back the next day, guys. Hey, sorry, I lost my temper last night. I shouldn't have said that. Well, how many times are you going to do that before it gets old? And she's sick and tired of hearing your apologies. She'd just like a change of behavior. Hey, sorry I was late. You know, I know you're waiting. I know you had it all ready to go. Sorry I was late. You know, sorry I didn't tell you, but I'm going out with, oh, yeah, I know that was a secret, but I can trust this person. That's why I shared it about you. I'm sorry they put it on Instagram. It's little things you think are no big deal. And then you start communicating, and you get in a point where you can't get along, and you attack each other instead of the problem. See, here's a little diagram. Graham hates this when I pull out my PowerPoint skills from my youth group days, but I made this myself. There's a problem. You have your side of an issue. Whoever you're in a relationship has their side of the issue. And instead of attacking the problem, you attack each other. Because you want to fix blame on somebody else. You don't want to fix the problem. I do it all the time. All right? Want me to give you an example? I get here this morning, and all the band is in football jerseys. And I think, man, I wasn't mad at Marty, but I can be right now. Man, Marty, why didn't you tell me we're all having jerseys? So I text Darlene, who's at home, the lovely Darlene, my wife, and I say, hey, bring me my nice Miami Dolphin jersey. She says, no problem. She's a great wife. So she shows up before church, and she hands me this one. I say, what the heck? I said the nice Miami Dolphin jersey. I have an original 1984 Dan Marino jersey. It's like the real McCoy. It's not this fake thing. And I said, what the heck, Darlene? I said that. And she says, what? I looked at both of them. They look good to me. And I said, I didn't do this, but this is what it felt like to her. I said the nice one. Then I led the volunteers in prayer. That's funny. That's funny. Then after prayer, I went over and hugged her and said sorry. I hate that. That's the wrong way. Wouldn't it be so much better, you guys, if you did the successful way? Look at this. What if you both teamed up and you attacked the problem? Instead of blaming somebody else to make you feel better, because it's not working, is it? You might as well try something new. Arguing isn't getting you down the road. Arguing isn't making you look better. It's not even making you feel better in the long run. Last thing. As you do this, then you become, togetherness gives you security that allows you to attack the problem. When you're doing it together, you don't have to panic. You don't have to worry, because you're in this thing together. Whatever problem comes your way, if you start attacking each other, then you're all by yourself. Let me give you some next steps. Brewster, get ready. Here at Chelan, there's a insert in your bulletin. There's a small group insert, and then there's a blue card that we use every single week. And we have some next steps. These are very specific, all right? Whatever relationship you're in, these are applicable. Please grab one of these next steps and just decide this week, this is what we're going to work on. You don't even have to tell anybody. Just do it, and I bet you the person you're in relationship with will notice, all right? First of all, make a plan to share life together, because it doesn't happen naturally. If today, as you look through the rest of your week, if you don't say, hey, listen, we're going to get together this time, this day, this week. You'll get to the end of the week and you'll say, where'd the week go? We haven't spent any time. We're just two ships in the night. We just see each other, and we long to be together, and I kind of want to spend time with them. They kind of want to spend time with me. But when I don't hear, Darlene doesn't pay attention to me, I figure she doesn't want to spend time with me. And I'm like, well, then if you're going to act like that, I'm going to ignore you, and I'm going to pout. And you have to plan it out. If you don't make a plan to spend time together, life will not allow you the time. You have to take the time. Because it's life's natural rhythm to steal the most important moments from your relationship. You have to make the time. Second, next step. We'll hit more of these in the next couple weeks too. Invest in becoming a winning team. Come on, the best part about being in a relationship with someone is that 4 shoulders are better than just 2. Carrying the weight of problems in the world is so much better when you can share it with somebody else. Really, I'm pretty pathetic. I've been that way a long time, all right? I'll talk more about that next week. If I didn't have Darlene, she is the much stronger of the two of us. She is the much wiser of the two of us. She's more disciplined, the most disciplined of the two of us. The stuff that we have gone through, if I hadn't had her next to me sharing that load, I don't know what I would do. Both ministry load, life load, raising kids. Maybe you're dating, maybe you're just friends. What if you became your partner's biggest cheerleader? What if you looked to encourage instead of be encouraged? I say this at every wedding. I did a wedding last night. I say this at every wedding. If you serve yourself, you lose. If you serve each other, you both win. Because we think, I want this, I want this, I want this in relationship. If you seek to only get what you want, ultimately you're going to lose. You may get it temporarily, but ultimately you're going to be left empty because you're serving yourself. If you seek going into a relationship, which may cause some sacrifice initially, to serve the other person, to meet the other person's need before your own, you both end up winning. You'll get back everything you ever wanted if you serve the other person. If you seek to serve yourself, you'll lose. Does that make sense? Yes, it does, Pastor Kyle. Thank you. Everyone in Brewster said, yeah. You can't lead with your own desires first. Finally, I love this one. Accept the sacrificial love of Jesus. You say, what's love look like? What's relationship look like? This guy, John, who hung out with Jesus, John is the one who told us that God is love, not God is loving, that the epitome of who God is love, that love is God, that God is love. That guy wrote in one of his books, in 1 John 3:16, he says this, we know what real love is because Jesus gave up his life for us. It wasn't just a love letter. It wasn't just a song. It was an action of sacrificial love. So, we also ought to give up our lives for our brothers and sisters because we've seen what real love looks like in Jesus. Listen, that may be a place for you to start today. If you're like new to this whole Jesus thing, if you're new to God thing or new even to church thing, maybe the best place for you to start relationally is in a relationship with Jesus. And you're like, I don't know. Man, I'm telling you, no one will sacrifice and love you more than Jesus Christ the Savior. You'll never have more security and freedom and foundation to grow from than when you trust and accept the real words and person and work of Jesus. And as weird as that sounds, what would happen if you would check out who Jesus was? What he said, how he lived, what he offered. And maybe for a lot of us, we need to remember that we are loved no matter what. You've been unkind. You've been unfaithful. You've been uncaring. You're still loved. There's still forgiveness there. And even if you may not feel it in your relationships now, the security is there because God offers that. And maybe, we'll talk about it next week, maybe you're trying to get from your partner in your relationships what only God can give you through Jesus. I would start with Jesus. No one will ever love you more. Let's pray. God, thanks. And a lot of us who show up at church a lot and have all our lives take the sacrifice of Jesus for granted, God. And we forget in the midst of a busy life and all kinds of messages the enormous, unconditional love that you offer through Jesus. God, I ask that for those of us here that that's new for, that we would start to get some kind of flavor for that, and we would move in that direction where we would begin to trust Jesus to be our Savior, because we can't save ourselves. And God, I ask that you would bust open whatever love capacity we have, and that would affect all of our relationships. We thank you for accepting us and forgiving us and moving us forward. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Have a great Sunday. We'll turn it back over to Billy and Brewster. Have a great Sunday, Brewster. See ya. Love ya. Bye.